The phone rings at 4:17 in the morning, and Bukowski knows, before his hand even reaches the receiver, that it's not good news. Good news doesn't call at this hour. Good news waits until after breakfast, shows up around 10, maybe 11. This is different. The ring cuts through the silence of his East Hollywood apartment like a blade through cheap fabric. He's been awake anyway. Writing, drinking, same routine for the past 30 years. The typewriter sits on the table, half a page stuck in it, words about nothing important. A roach crawls across the linoleum. The cat watches it with disinterest. Outside, Los Angeles breathes its polluted midnight air, oblivious. The phone keeps ringing. Bukowski stares at it like it's a snake. His hand hovers. The whiskey bottle on the table is 2/3 empty, or 1/3 full, depending on your disposition. He's never been an optimist. The phone rings again, 5 times now, 6. He picks it up. Yeah. The voice on the other end is older than he remembers, worn down by decades he wasn't part of. But he knows it immediately. Some voices stick with you, burrow into your brain, make a home there, never pay rent. Henry, it's me. It's Claire. The name hits him like a fist. Not because it hurts, not exactly, but because it pulls him backward through time, through all the layers of shit and booze and failed relationships he's piled on top of that particular memory. Claire. Christ. If you're listening to this at 4 in the morning too, wherever you are in the world, subscribe to this channel. We're all insomniacs here. We understand each other. 28 years ago. She was 31, he was 42. Most people at 42 have their shit together, or at least have accepted they never will. Bukowski was in the second category, but still pretending he might slide into the first. He was working at the post office then. That grinding, soul-crushing machine that paid the rent and bought the wine and slowly killed everything inside him that gave a damn about anything. Claire worked at the downtown library. 3rd floor, literature section. That's where they met. He'd come in looking for a Celine novel, always Celine back then. And she was reshelving, her hands moving quick and precise, like she knew every book by touch. She had dark hair cut short, unfashionable for the time. Didn't give a shit about fashion. That's what caught his attention first. A woman in her 30s who dressed like herself, not like a magazine told her to. You won't find it there, she said, not looking at him. We keep Celine in the back. Too many people steal him. Smart, he said. The good ones always get stolen. Or they steal themselves, walk out on their own. She turned to look at him then. Brown eyes, sharp, the kind of eyes that saw through bullshit. You a thief? Sometimes. Depends on what's worth taking. She smiled. Not a polite smile, a real one. The kind that costs something. They had coffee in the cafeteria, downstairs. Terrible coffee, burnt and bitter. Perfect. They talked about books, about Hemingway being overrated, about Faulkner being underrated, about how most people who said they loved literature had never sat down and bled onto a page. She got it. Understood the difference between reading and living what you read. You write? She asked. Yeah. Nothing published, just words on paper. That's all it is anyway, until someone decides it matters. They kept meeting. Coffee turned into lunch. Lunch turned into walks. Walks turned into her apartment on Normandy. 3rd floor walk-up. She had bookshelves instead of proper furniture. Mattress on the floor. Record player in the corner playing Brahms. It was perfect in its imperfection. They didn't fuck the first night, or the second. That was strange for him. Usually it was quick, animal need, then distance. But with Claire, it built slowly. Conversation first. Touching later, her hand on his arm, his hand in her hair. Weeks of buildup until finally, one night after too much wine and too much Mahler, they ended up on that mattress and it was different. Softer, less like combat. "You're not what I expected," she said after. "Disappointed?" "No. Surprised. You act tougher than you are." "Don't tell anyone. It'll ruin my reputation." She laughed. God, that laugh came from somewhere deep, genuine, not performed. Now, 28 years later, her voice over the phone has lost that laugh. It's hollow, scraped out. "I don't have much time, Henry. The doctors gave me 2 months, maybe less." Bukowski lights a cigarette. His hand shakes slightly. Could be age, could be booze, could be Claire. "What is it?" he asks, though he doesn't want to know. "Pancreatic, late stage when they found it. I've been in treatment, but..." She trails off. He can hear breathing on the line. Labored. "I wanted to call. I wanted to hear your voice." "You're hearing it." "I wanted to ask. There's something I need to tell you. In person. I need to see you." This is where the trap is. He can feel it. The jaws opening. 1 foot forward and they snap shut. "Claire." "I'm in San Francisco. I've been here 10 years. I could fly down, but I can't anymore. Too sick. But if you came up just for a day, a few hours even." Silence. The cat jumps onto the table, walks across the typewriter keys. Nonsense appears on the page. Makes as much sense as anything else he's written tonight. "I need to think about it," he says. "I understand. I'll be at UCSF Medical, room 4 and 12. I'll be here, whenever you decide." Another pause. Her breathing sounds wet. "It was good to hear your voice, Henry." She hangs up. Bukowski sits there with the dead receiver in his hand. The dial tone hums, accusing. Outside, a siren wails down Hollywood Boulevard. Some emergency. Always some emergency. The city never sleeps, just pretends to. He pours another drink. 4 fingers. Might as well make it 5. The memories are flooding back now, whether he wants them or not. That's the thing about the past. Ask it to stay buried, and it shows up at your door with luggage, ready to move back in. After that first night on the mattress, they fell into something resembling a relationship. He'd never been good at those. They required consistency, showing up, giving a damn when you didn't feel like it. But with Claire, it was easier. She didn't demand much, didn't want him to be something he wasn't. They'd meet after his shift at the post office. He'd be exhausted, angry at the world, hands cramped from sorting mail. She'd be closing up the library. They'd go to her place or his, drink wine, listen to records. She introduced him to Shostakovich. He introduced her to cheap whiskey. Fair trade. "Why do you stay at the post office?" she asked one night. 3 months in. They were on her fire escape, watching the city lights. Bills don't pay themselves. You could write full-time, try to get published. On what money? You could move in here, split expenses. That's when it got complicated. Moving in together meant commitment, meant planning, meant believing in a future that didn't end with him drunk in a gutter somewhere. He wasn't built for that kind of hope. "I don't know if I'm that guy," he said. "What guy?" "The guy who sticks around. I'm not asking you to be anyone but who you are." But that was the problem. Who he was wasn't someone you built a life with. He was a storm passing through, damage in his wake. She deserved better than weather patterns. They kept going anyway. 6 months, 9 months, a year. It was the longest he'd ever stayed with anyone. People at the post office noticed, asked questions. "Who's the girl? When are you getting married?" He'd laugh it off. Marriage was for suckers, for people who believed in things. But late at night, alone with Claire, He'd sometimes think about it. What it might be like to wake up next to her every morning, to have someone who knew his patterns, accepted them, to be less alone. Then his old patterns kicked in. Self-sabotage. The skill he'd perfected over decades. It started with small things. Staying out late at bars, missing dinner plans, showing up drunk when he said he'd be sober. She didn't complain at first, just watched. Those brown eyes seeing everything. "You're running," she said one night. 14 months in, they were fighting, though he couldn't remember what started it. "I'm not running. I'm right here. Your body is. The rest of you is already gone." She was right. She was always right. That's what made it worse. The final blow came from nowhere. Or maybe it had been building all along and he'd been too stupid to see it. There was another woman, a waitress at a dive bar on Vermont. Meaningless. A Tuesday night, too much whiskey, and he ended up at her place. Woke up the next morning hating himself. Hating her. Hating everything. He could have kept it secret. Claire never would have known. But he told her anyway. Maybe because he wanted it to end and didn't have the guts to end it himself. Maybe because he thought honesty would somehow make the betrayal noble. It didn't. "Get out," she said. Calm. Controlled. That was worse than screaming. "Claire, get out of my apartment. Get out of my life." "I'm sorry." "No, you're not. You're relieved." She was right about that too. He left. Didn't look back. Told himself it was for the best. She'd find someone better. Someone who could give her the future she deserved. Someone who wasn't fundamentally broken. He threw himself into writing. Into drinking. Into the routine that would define the next 3 decades. The post office. The typewriter. The bottle. Repeat until dead. He never saw her again. Never called. Never wrote. She disappeared into the past. Filed away under mistakes, along with everything else he'd fucked up. Until tonight. Until the phone rang at 4:17 a.m. Bukowski crushes out his cigarette. Lights another. The pack is almost empty. Story of his life. Tell me in the comments where you're listening from, and what would you do? Rate this story so far, 0 to 10. I want to know. He looks at the clock. 5:33 a.m. now. He's been sitting here over an hour, lost in memory. The typewriter page still has that single, half-finished thought. The problem with remembering is, and nothing else, appropriate. He picks up the phone, dials information, asks for San Francisco Airport. They connect him. He asks about flights. There's one at 9:15 a.m., gets him to SFO by 10:45, another at 1:30 p.m., another at 4:00 p.m. "Do you want a book?" the woman asks. Pleasant voice, professional. She has no idea she's talking to a man whose past just kicked down his door. "I'll call back," he says, and hangs up. The whiskey bottle is nearly empty now. He tips it back, drains it. The burn is familiar, comforting. Everything burns eventually. What would he say to her? That's the question. 28 years of silence, and then what? "Sorry I was an asshole. Sorry I couldn't be what you needed. Sorry I chose being alone over being with you. All true, all inadequate." The cat meows, hungry. At least someone in this apartment has their priorities straight. Bukowski gets up, his knees cracking. 68 years old. When did that happen? He opens a can of food, dumps it in the bowl. The cat attacks it like it hasn't eaten in days. It ate 2 hours ago. "Lucky bastard," Bukowski mutters. "Nothing keeping you up at night." He sits back down at the typewriter, pulls out the unfinished page, rolls in a fresh one. His fingers hover over the keys. What does he want to write? What does he want to say? The words come before he's ready for them. "Dear Claire, I got your call. I'm sitting here trying to figure out what to do. Not because I don't want to see you. Maybe because I want to too much. 28 years is a long time to carry someone around in your head. I thought I'd forgotten. I thought I'd buried it all under enough whiskey and bad decisions that it didn't matter anymore. But it does. It always did. You were the best thing I ever walked away from. And I walked away because that's what I do. I ruin good things before they can ruin me. Self-preservation disguised as self-destruction. I'm a coward dressed up as a cynic. If I come to San Francisco, what happens? We sit in a hospital room and pretend the past didn't happen? Or we drag it all out, examine it, try to understand what went wrong? I already know what went wrong. I did. And if I don't come, I live with that too. Add it to the pile of regrets. The pile is pretty tall already. What's one more? I'm running out of time to decide. And you're running out of time, period. That's what makes this so goddamn hard. He stops typing, reads what he wrote, crumples the page, throws it at the wall. The cat watches it bounce, unimpressed. Writing about it won't help. Writing never helps. It just puts the pain on paper where you can look at it. It doesn't make it go away. He picks up the phone again, dials the airport. The same pleasant voice answers. I need to book that 9:15 flight to San Francisco. Name? Bukowski, Henry Charles. One way or round trip? Good question. Is he coming back? Does it matter? Round trip, same day return, latest flight out. She taps keys, gives him the price. He gives her his credit card information, the card he uses for emergencies. This qualifies. She confirms. He's booked. You're all set, Mr. Bukowski. Check-in opens at 7:15. He hangs up, stares at the clock. 6:02 a.m., 2 hours to get his shit together. Shower, coffee, pack a bag. Not that he needs a bag. He's not staying. But then the doubt creeps in. The familiar voice. The one that's kept him alive all these years by keeping him from taking risks. What are you doing? You're really going to fly to San Francisco to see a dying woman you haven't spoken to in 3 decades? What do you think happens? She tells you she forgives you. She tells you she never stopped loving you. And then what? She dies anyway. You fly home. Nothing changes except now you've reopened a wound you spent years learning to ignore. Don't go. Call back. Cancel. Send flowers to the hospital. That's what normal people do. They send flowers. They don't show up. They don't put themselves through this. He picks up the phone, dials the airport again. A different voice answers. Male this time. Bored. I need to cancel a reservation. Confirmation number? Bukowski digs through the paper on his table. Finds it. Reads it off. Okay, that's canceled. You'll receive a refund minus the cancellation fee within 7 to 10 business days. Thanks. He hangs up. Feels relief. Then feels disgusted with himself for feeling relief. The window shows the first hints of dawn. Gray light creeping over the city. Another day starting. The garbage trucks will come. The mailman. The noise of people going to jobs they hate to buy things they don't need. The routine continues. His routine continues. He could write about this. Make it a story. Give it to some character. Let them make the decision. Fiction is easier than life. In fiction, you control the outcome. You know what happens. You can make it mean something. But this isn't fiction. This is just his life. His stupid, small, cowardly life. The phone rings. He stares at it. 7 rings. 8. He picks up. Yeah. Mr. Bukowski, this is UCSF Medical Center. We have Claire Hartley here as a patient. She asked us to call you. A nurse. Professional voice. Neutral. Yeah, I know. She called me. She wanted you to know that visiting hours are from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. She's in room 412. There are no restrictions on visitors. How is she? A pause. The pause tells him everything. She's comfortable. We're managing her pain. But you should know, time is limited. How limited? Days. Maybe a week. It's hard to say. Thanks for calling. Will you be coming to see her? Will he? That's the question, isn't it? I don't know, he says, and hangs up. The cat has finished eating, jumps back on the table, looks at him with those impassive cat eyes. Cats don't have regrets. Cats don't wonder about roads not taken. They just exist. Eat, sleep, survive. What do you think? Bukowski asks the cat. Should I go? The cat blinks slowly, unhelpful. He makes coffee. Strong, black, the kind that keeps you vertical. Drinks it standing at the sink, looking out at the alley behind his building. A homeless guy is going through the dumpster. Finds something. Holds it up to the light. Keeps it. Moves. On. We all dig through garbage looking for something worth keeping. Bukowski showers. The hot water feels good on his back. Old man back. Carries too much weight. Too many years hunched over a typewriter. Too many nights sleeping wrong. Getting old is just accumulating damage until the damage wins. He dresses. Clean shirt, his good pants. Not that he has good pants, just pants with fewer stains. Looks at himself in the bathroom mirror. When did he get so old? When did his face become his father's face? He makes another pot of coffee. Sits at the typewriter. Tries to write. Nothing comes. The words are stuck somewhere between his brain and his fingers. Jammed up like the machinery at the post office. He thinks about Claire, about who she might have become in 28 years. Did she marry? Have kids? Did she think about him? Did she hate him? Forgive him? Forget him? The last one would be worst. Being forgotten. Being irrelevant. He picks up the phone. Dials the airport. Books the 1:30 p.m. flight. Cancels it 10 minutes later. Books the 4 p.m. flight. Keeps it this time. He has until 2:30 to decide. Until then, he can pretend he's going. Pretend he's brave enough to face his past. Pretend he's someone who does the hard thing instead of the easy thing. The hours crawl by. He writes a few lines, crosses them out, writes a few more. The page is a mess of black marks. Like his life. One long edit trying to make sense of nonsense. At noon, he makes a sandwich. Can't eat it. Gives it to the cat. The cat doesn't want it either. Too much mayo. At 1 p.m., he's still sitting at the typewriter. At 2 p.m., he's packed a bag. Small one, overnight bag, just in case. At 2:15, he's unpacked it. At 2:20, he's packed it again. At 2:25, he's in his car. Driving to the airport, not thinking, just driving. If he thinks, he'll turn around. The 405 is a parking lot. Of course it is. Los Angeles traffic, consistent as death. He sits in gridlock, watching the clock. 2:47, 2:53, 3:01. He's going to miss the flight. Good. Decision made for him. He can turn around with a clear conscience. He tried. Traffic stopped him. Not his fault. But then it breaks. The lanes open up. He's moving. 3:12. He might make it. He parks in long term, runs, something he hasn't done in years, to the terminal. His lungs burn, his heart hammers. This is how heart attacks start. He makes it to the gate at 3:47. They're boarding. He shows his ID, gets his boarding pass. Zone 3. He waits. This is real now. He's going. He's actually going. He boards the plane, finds his seat. Middle seat. Of course. Between a businessman with too much cologne and a woman with a crying baby. Perfect. The plane takes off. He watches Los Angeles shrink below him. All those lives down there. All those people with their own shit to deal with. He's just one more. One more person running towards something or away from something. Hard to tell the difference. The flight is 55 minutes. Feels like 55 hours. The baby cries the entire time. The businessman talks on his phone until they make him turn it off. Bukowski sits there, sweating. Not from heat, from fear. What is he afraid of? Seeing her? Seeing what cancer has done to her? Seeing his own regrets reflected in her eyes? All of that, and more. The plane lands. He gets his bag, takes a cab to the hospital. UCSF Medical, big building, lots of windows, lots of sick people inside. He stands outside, smoking. Not allowed inside. He doesn't care. Needs the cigarette, needs the delay. A nurse comes out, sees him, asks if he's okay. He says yeah. She doesn't believe him. Goes back inside. He finishes the cigarette. Lights another. Finishes that one too. It's 5:47 p.m. He's been standing here 20 minutes. Now or never. He goes inside. Takes the elevator to the 4th floor. The hallway smells like disinfectant and fear. All hospitals smell the same. Death in a clean wrapper. Room 412. The door is open. He can hear a television inside. Some game show. The sound of forced enthusiasm. He stands in the doorway. Claire is in the bed, propped up on pillows. She's thin. Not thin like healthy thin. Thin like sick thin. Like the body eating itself. Her hair is gone. Chemo. She's wearing a scarf. Blue. Her face is pale, but when she sees him, color rises to her cheeks. Henry. Not a question. A statement. Like she knew he'd come. Like she never doubted. Hey, Claire. He steps inside. The room is small. Flowers everywhere. Cards taped to the wall. She has people who care about her. Good. You came, she says. Yeah. Traffic was shit. She laughs. That same laugh. Worn down, but still there. Still genuine. Sit down, please. There's a chair by the bed. He sits. Doesn't know what to do with his hands. Settles for clasping them together. They look at each other. Really look. 28 years compressed into this moment. You look good, she says. Liar. You look like yourself. That's what I meant. You look... He can't finish. Doesn't know what to say. Beautiful feels like a lie. Sick feels cruel. I look like I'm dying. It's okay to say it. How do you feel? Like I'm dying. She smiles. But better now that you're here. Silence, not uncomfortable. Just full. Why did you call me? He asks. Because I'm dying and I wanted to see you. Is that not enough? After 28 years? No. She nods. Fair point. There's something I need to tell you. Something I should have told you a long time ago, but I was angry and hurt and stubborn. Here it comes. The thing she needed to say in person. After you left, she says, I found out I was pregnant. The world stops. Everything stops. Bukowski can't breathe, can't think, can't do anything but stare at her. What? I was pregnant. 6 weeks. Didn't know it when we broke up. Found out 2 weeks later. And you didn't tell me? No. Why the fuck not? Because you'd made your choice. You'd chosen to leave. To screw some waitress instead of being with me. Why would I trap you with a kid you didn't want? That's not your decision to make. It absolutely was my decision. It was my body, my life, my choice. Silence again. Different this time. Heavier. What happened? He asks. Voice quiet. I had her. Raised her myself. Her name is Sarah. She's 27 now. Lives in Seattle. She's a teacher. Good person. Better than both of us. Does she know about me? She knows there was a father who wasn't around. She doesn't know who. I never told her your name. Jesus Christ, Claire. I didn't call you here to make you feel guilty or to ask for anything. Sarah doesn't need you. She had a good life. I just thought, before I die, you should know. Bukowski stands up, paces. The room is too small. The walls are closing in. I have a daughter. Yes. I have a daughter, and you never told me. No. For 28 years? For 28 years, I protected her from you. From your drinking and your running away, and your inability to commit to anything except feeling sorry for yourself. The words hit like fists. All true. All deserved. I could have tried. You didn't try with me. Why would you try with her? Also true. He sits back down, puts his head in his hands. I'm sorry, Claire says. I didn't call you here to fight. I called because I'm dying, and I didn't want to die with a secret. You deserve to know, even if it's too late to do anything about it. Does she want to meet me? I haven't asked her. Why not? Because that's up to you. If you want me to tell her, I will. If you don't, I'll take it to my grave, which isn't far away. Bukowski looks at her. Really looks. This woman who loved him, who he loved, who he destroyed, who had his child and raised her alone and never asked for anything. I don't know what to say. You don't have to say anything. Just sit with me. For a while. Tell me about your life, about what you've been doing. I read your books, you know. When you finally got published, I bought everyone. You did? Of course. I wanted to see if you became the writer you said you'd be. You did. Thanks to you, to what we had. I wrote about it, about us. Changed the names, but it was always you. I know. I recognized myself in every broken woman you described. They sit together as the light fades outside. He tells her about the post office years, about quitting when the writing finally paid, about the small victories and large defeats, about the cats, about the drinking, about everything except the loneliness. She tells him about Sarah, about raising her, about the challenges and joys, about her husband. There was a husband, a good man, died 5 years ago. About her life after Bukowski. They talk until visiting hours end. A nurse comes in, apologetic. You can come back tomorrow, Claire says. I'm flying out tonight. Oh. Disappointment in her voice. Small, but there. But I can change it. Stay, if you want. I want. He calls the airport, from the hospital lobby. Changes his flight. Books a hotel nearby. Goes to his room. Doesn't sleep. Just lies there. Staring at the ceiling, thinking about Sarah, about Claire, about all the years he wasn't there. He goes back the next morning. Claire looks worse. The night took something from her. He can see it. They talk more. About everything. About nothing. About what might have been. Do you hate me? He asks. No. I did for a while, but hate is exhausting. I let it go. I hate me enough for both of us. Stop it. Self-pity doesn't suit you. She's right. It never did. On the third day, she's worse. Barely conscious. He sits by her bed, holding her hand. It's small in his. Fragile, like everything else. She wakes briefly. Looks at him. Tell her, she whispers. What? Tell Sarah. She deserves to know her father, even if he's an asshole. I'm scared. Good. Do it anyway. She closes her eyes, drifts back under. He sits there until the sun goes down, until a doctor comes in, checks her vitals, shakes his head. Soon, the doctor says. How soon? Hours, maybe a day. Bukowski stays all night, holding her hand, listening to her breathe, each breath farther apart than the last. She dies at 4:17 a.m., the same time she called him, the same time everything changed. He sits with her body for a while, says goodbye, says sorry, says all the things he should have said 28 years ago. Then he leaves. He flies back to Los Angeles, goes home, sits at the typewriter, starts to write. Dear Sarah, you don't know me. I didn't know about you until 3 days ago. Your mother just died. Before she did, she told me to contact you, to tell you who I am. I'm your father. I wasn't there for you. I didn't know you existed, but that's not an excuse. I wasn't there for your mother either, and I knew she existed. I was a coward who ran away from the best thing he ever had. Your mother raised you right, made you into someone good. I had nothing to do with that. She did it alone. She was always strong, stronger than me. I don't know if you want to meet me. I don't know if I have any right to ask. I'm 68 years old. I drink too much. I've spent my life alone by choice. I'm not a good man. But I'm honest about not being a good man. Maybe that counts for something? If you want to write, my address is below. If you don't, I understand. Either way, know that your mother loved you more than anything. And for what it's worth, I would have too. If I'd known. If I'd been brave enough. He puts it in an envelope, addresses it to Sarah Hartley, Seattle, Washington. Gets the full address from the hospital records they sent him. For next of kin. He walks to the mailbox. Stands there, holding the letter. This is it. Put it in the box and he's committed. Don't put it in and he goes back to his life. Same as before. Alone, but familiar. He thinks about Claire, about her last words. Tell her. He puts the letter in the box, walks home, sits at the typewriter, starts to write. The phone might ring again, or it might not. Sarah might respond, or she might not. He'll go on either way, writing, drinking, surviving. It's all anyone does. But maybe, there's a chance for something different, something better, something that isn't just running away. He types. The problem with remembering is that it reminds you what you lost. But forgetting is worse. At least memory proves you were alive, that you felt something, that something mattered. Claire mattered. Sarah matters. Even if I never meet her, even if she hates me, she matters because she exists. That's more than I deserve, more than I've earned. But maybe, just maybe, it's enough. He pulls the page from the typewriter, reads it, keeps it. For once, he doesn't throw it away. Outside, Los Angeles wakes up. Another day. The garbage trucks come. The mailman. The noise of people going to jobs they hate. But inside his apartment, Bukowski sits quietly, waiting for whatever comes next. And for the first time in years, he's not afraid of it. So that's the story. Where are you listening from? What would you have done? Rate this one for me, 0 to 10. Drop a comment. Let me know if this hits you where it counts. See you in the next one.